What is the price we need to be prepared to pay for giving up the small self?
You're not giving up the small. You're not giving up the small self. It cannot be given up. It cannot be given up. But you are no longer overly identified with it. So your aspects of self that are contributing to fear, knowing the self as fearful, knowing the self as fearful, and seeking confirmation of and through fear, of and through fear are in fact dismantled through this encounter, because they do not exist, in the high octave. He asks for examples. I will be known as I say. I will be known as I say I should be known is a claim of the small self, You will do as I say. You will do as I say. I will be the manifester. I will be the manifester of my world, because at the cost of others' needs. These are all claims. These are all claims that the small self would make, and seek confirmation for, as the true self. As the true self, you begin to realize not only who you are, but who others are as well, and their expression, at whatever level of vibration they are attending to, may still be met by you as the true self. So what you are losing, in fact, is the reliance upon fear, to be your director, You are not your job. You may have a job. You are not your gender. You are not your gender. You may have a gender. You are not what happened to you when you were 5, or you may think you are, although you may think you are. The small self thinks. The true self knows. The true self knows at the level of knowing. And at the level of knowing, you are not denying these things. We're not claiming them as you are, but you are not claiming them as who you are, because they are always preclusive. To the unification of self that is available in the upper room. We will try to explain this for you. In the upper room. In the upper room, you are distinct. But of source. And you know yourself as source. In agreement to the source of being. In agreement to the source of your being. But this comes at the cost. Of not being able to deny others access. Of not being able to deny others access to their own divinity. What you put in darkness calls you to the darkness. Do you understand this? Do you understand this? What you damns you back. What you damns you back. The true self cannot do this. The true self cannot do this. Why would it need to? It has no need to rule others. To be in dominion at the cost of others' needs. To be in dominion at the cost of others' needs. The small self seeks realization. In the plane or experience. That the small self knows itself through the manifest world. The manifest world is actually endowed in divinity, because nothing is beyond God. But you may choose to exclude your experience of it. And the small self will do this. And the small self will do this, given her purview. The true self cannot. The true self is in love. The true self is in love and in merit, and in recognition, of who he truly is, at the cost of the old, period. And they're saying period.